Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into the complex world of hypocrisy. But first, let's clarify what we mean by hypocrisy. Simply put, it's the discrepancy between what someone claims to believe or advocate for and what they actually do in their daily lives. This behavior can lead to a breakdown in trust and can significantly affect our relationships and society as a whole. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone says one thing but does the complete opposite? Or how many times have you noticed someone saying one thing but doing the complete opposite? It's something we all witness regularly, but how often do we stop and think about it? You see, hypocrisy isn't just a personal flaw. It's a widespread phenomenon that permeates every facet of our lives, from politics and social media to our personal relationships. Today, we'll explore some striking examples that illustrate this troubling trend. At its core, hypocrisy is when someone's actions don't align with their stated beliefs or values. It's when people publicly advocate for one thing, but behind closed doors, they act in ways that contradict their words. This behavior isn't just frustrating. It can erode trust, damage relationships, and even shape how society functions. Whether it's a politician pushing for environmental policies while flying private jets, or a celebrity preaching body positivity while editing every photo, hypocrisy has a way of seeping into every part of our lives. But here's the thing. Hypocrisy isn't just something we see in others. We all have our moments where we've said one thing but done another. It's almost like a human instinct. But why does it happen? What drives people to say one thing and do another? And what impact does this have on our relationships, our communities, and the world? Have you ever noticed how some politicians who have never worked a day in their life feel entitled to lecture us about what it's like to survive on minimum wage? And we have the world of social media, which is replete with young influencers who, despite having never earned their own fortunes, profess to hold the secrets to financial success. Their lavish lifestyles are often funded by family wealth, making their advice seem detached from the reality faced by the majority of their audience. Did you hear about former adult stars Mia Khalifa and Riley Reid? They've got more regrets than a cat in a dog park about their time in the adult film industry. Sure, they're totally sorry for their past, but honestly, I'm curious about their bank accounts because I bet they are not struggling to buy food. If feeling sorry for their past paid the bills, they'd be rich. Oh wait, they already are. Let's begin our journey talking about the politicians living a luxury life, while talking about minimum wage. Firstly, we have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the congresswoman who's like the rock star of progressive politics. She's all about fighting for the working class, pushing for things like a higher minimum wage, and being a voice for the people. She's the kind of politician who sounds like she could give a TED talk on how to fix the world and still look fabulous doing it. But here's the plot twist. Alexandria used to struggle financially before she became a political powerhouse. She's talked about living that low-wage, working-class life, scrimping and saving, trying to make ends meet while living on ramen noodles and dreams. It's the classic, "I was once just like you" story. Inspirational, right? Fast forward to Alexandria's current gig in Congress, and things have, well, changed a bit. Now she's got access to all the political perks. Fancy dinners, exclusive events, and of course, a salary that's 6 figures. Yes, 6. So while Alexandria is still out there rallying for minimum wage increases and talking about how much she cares about the little guy, some critics are raising an eyebrow. It's a little like the person who used to borrow your last $5, now telling you how to budget your life while they sip champagne at a fundraiser. Awkward, right? It's not that Alexandria's efforts for the working class aren't appreciated, but the contrast between her current cushy lifestyle and her struggling to make rent days can make you wonder if she's still the relatable girl from the Bronx, or has she upgraded to VIP access-only status in the political world. The whole "I'm one of the people" vibe starts to feel a little like a Netflix series where the lead character goes from living in a shoebox apartment to owning a penthouse, and you're like, wait, I thought we were in this together. So, While Alexandria's pushing for all the right causes, the hypocrisy meter tends to go off when you realize that the same congresswoman who once had to hustle for every dollar is now living in a world where dollars are basically throwing themselves at her. But hey, at least she's still championing the right cause, just maybe from a slightly fancier seat. Next, let's talk about Beto O'Rourke, the former US congressman and current Democratic Party member. Beto's heart is bigger than Texas, which, let's face it, is pretty big. He's deeply concerned about those poor souls grinding away on minimum wage, advocating for it to be bumped up. His reasoning? In the wealthiest country on the planet, no one should have to work a full-time job and live in poverty. Logic, right? You'd think he's ready to run for Most Empathetic Human of the Year. But here's the plot twist. Beto's personal wealth, sitting at a cozy $9 million, thank you Forbes, has some folks scratching their heads. They wonder, how does he really understand the struggles of people living paycheck to paycheck? Maybe Beto has a great heart, but his bank account seems to be the financial equivalent of a golden retriever who's never seen a dog bowl without food in it. So while Beto's all about boosting wages for those in need, his own hefty savings leave people wondering if he's a little out of touch. It's like him handing out advice on how to live frugally while he's cruising around in a Maserati. Awkward. Next, we've got Dan Bilzerian, the social media king of luxury, money, and how to live like a king tutorials. Dan's Instagram feed is a parade of private jets, casinos, and mountains of cash. His tagline? I'll teach you how to get rich, like me. Sounds inspiring, right? Except for the tiny detail that he didn't actually get rich like that. Dan's fortune mostly comes from his dad, a corporate raider. He likes to act like a self-made man, but if you trace the roots of his wealth, it's more dad-made than self-made. It's like a guy who inherited a yacht telling you how to row your way to the top. Not exactly a relatable journey. But wait, there's more. Enter Gianluca Vacchi, another I'm so self-made guru who dances his way through Instagram with an endless supply of champagne and exotic cars. Gianluca's got 20 million followers, which is impressive if you like seeing people in cashmere robes riding scooters in tropical locales. He offers business and financial advice, all while flashing a look at me, I'm so successful smile. But guess what? He's the heir to a massive Italian business empire. So while his entrepreneurial ventures may be real, the self-made part is a bit of a stretch. It's like a prince telling you how to build your empire from scratch. Except instead of a tiny kingdom, he's got a massive fortune handed down from generations. Relatable, right? These guys, Beto, Dan, and Gianluca, are like the superheroes of the I Came From Nothing club, except their origin stories are full of trust funds and luxury yachts. They've got the luxury to tell others how to hustle, but their advice is a little like listening to a billionaire lecture you on how to live paycheck to paycheck. It's like the struggling millionaire trope that everyone loves to hate. So the next time someone tells you about their hard-earned success while lounging on a yacht, just remember, some people preach financial freedom while living in a world where their financial freedom was handed to them in a silver spoon. Maybe we should start a new motivational course. How to be a self-made millionaire as long as your dad's a billionaire. Corporate hypocrisy. When marketing meets reality, let me introduce you to the grand masters of corporate theatre, H&M, Apple, and L'Oreal, champions of marketing magic, where reality is just a pesky little detail. First up, we have H&M, the self-proclaimed superhero of sustainable fashion. They strut around with their eco-friendly collections, flaunting their green credentials like a peacock in a field of daisies. But hold on a second. Investigations have revealed that some of their suppliers are more like the villains in this story. Workers in Bangladesh have reported poor working conditions, low wages, and unsafe environments. Talk about a plot twist. While H&M is busy marketing itself as the champion of ethical practices, it seems their suppliers are stuck in a real-life episode of Undercover Boss Nightmare Edition. Next, let's pull out our shiny gadgets and talk about Apple. This tech titan loves to brag about its commitment to human rights and responsible material sourcing. But wait, behind the sleek design and those catchy ads lies a story that's less about shiny screens and more about grueling work hours in factories in China. Reports have surfaced showing excessive working hours and conditions that would make anyone question their commitment to workers' rights. It's like finding out your favorite superhero has a secret lair filled with unpaid interns. Yikes. And then we have L'Oreal, the beauty brand that tells us they're all about being cruelty-free and kind to Mother Earth. But here's the kicker. Their palm oil sourcing is linked to deforestation and habitat destruction. So while they're busy selling us that natural glow, it turns out they might be dimming the lights on the rainforest. Plus, there have been whispers about labor exploitation in their supply chain, making you wonder if their products come with a side of irony. Let's take a stroll down the amusingly ironic path of some high-profile figures who preached one thing but seemed to practice something entirely different. First up, we have Cardinal Angelo Becciu, a former high-ranking Vatican official who was supposed to be the embodiment of moral authority. Instead, he found himself embroiled in a financial scandal that could make a soap opera look tame. Accused of embezzling Vatican funds and mismanaging millions in charitable donations, Becciu allegedly used church money to finance his personal interests, including a luxury real estate deal in London. Talk about a holy roller coaster. While he was advising Pope Francis and talking about charity, he was apparently more interested in lining his own pockets. It's a classic case of don't follow what I do, follow what I say. And boy, did that create quite the scandal. Next on our list is Jimmy Swaggart, the televangelist who was the rock star of moral purity in the 1980s and 90s. Swaggart had the charisma to fill stadiums while preaching about sin and the need for an upright life. But then came 1988, and oh boy, did he hit a sour note when he got caught in a scandal involving prostitutes. His fall from grace was as dramatic as a reality TV show finale. Despite his fiery sermons about living right, Swaggart's actions revealed a man who might have been a little too close to the "forgive me, Father" line. And just when you thought he'd learned his lesson, he was back in the headlines in the 1990s for another scandal. Talk about a repeat performance that no one asked for. Then we have Rolf Harris, the Australian entertainer who was known for his cheerful persona and charitable work. But behind that friendly face was a dark secret. In 2014, he was convicted of multiple counts of indecent assault on young girls. This scandal shook his reputation and exposed the hypocrisy of his public moral image. One minute he's promoting moral teachings, and the next, he's in court facing serious charges. It's like finding out your favorite children's entertainer has been living a double life. Definitely not the family-friendly image he portrayed. Lastly, we have Bishop Richard Williamson, a British bishop from the Society of St. Pius X. This guy became notorious for his controversial views, including Holocaust denial. While he preached Christian values, his public statements and far-right associations were more like a bad parody of a moral leader. His behavior sparked debates about how someone can twist their teachings into something so contradictory. It's as if he took a moral compass and turned it upside down, leaving everyone scratching their heads in confusion. So there you have it. These figures remind us that sometimes the people who shout the loudest about morality might just be hiding a few skeletons in their closets. It's a wild world where the moral high ground can quickly turn into a slippery slope, leaving us all wondering, what's behind the curtain? Ever notice how hypocrisy is like that one relative who shows up uninvited to every family gathering? It's everywhere. From politicians who preach healthy living while secretly inhaling cheeseburgers behind closed doors, to fitness influencers posting jar clean eating while demolishing a midnight pizza, the hypocrisy circus is in full swing, folks. And don't get me started on people who get a tiny taste of power. It's like watching someone find a plastic crown in their cereal box and suddenly declare themselves emperor of the office kitchen. "Thou shalt label thy lunch containers," they decree, while mysteriously borrowing everyone's coffee creamer. Here's the kicker. This two-faced tango is so widespread, fighting it would be like trying to teach cats synchronized swimming. We're talking about 60% of the population here. That's more people than those who actually fold their laundry right after drying it. Let's be honest. So why did I make this video? Well, consider it my contribution to the grand comedy show of life. Think of hypocrisy as that embarrassing dance move everyone pretends they don't do. Except I'm here with a spotlight and a bullhorn yelling, "We can all see you doing the hypocritical chicken dance, Karen." Remember, folks, if we can't beat 'em, we might as well laugh at 'em. Just maybe not to their faces. They might be in charge of your next performance review. And that's a wrap on today's episode of Hypocrisy Watch, where we catch the double standards and serve them with a side of laughs. If you enjoyed this roasting session, don't forget to smash that like button harder than a hypocrite smashes their diet on cheat day. Hit subscribe to join our truth-telling tribe and ring that notification bell, because exposing hypocrisy is more fun with friends. Drop a comment below sharing your most hilarious encounter with a hypocrite. Was it your boss preaching punctuality while strolling in late with Starbucks? Your gym trainer sneaking fries behind the protein shakes? Let's hear it. Want more content that keeps it real? Check out our playlist, Society's Greatest Hits of Irony, right here. And remember, folks, in a world full of people wearing masks, be the one wearing a clown nose. At least it's honest. See you in the next video, where we'll continue turning life's lemons into comedy lemonade. Peace out, truth seekers.